Hi everybody, welcome to our very first update video. It has been an amazing first week and a half of fundraising. We are already 70% of the way to our goal. Thank you so much to everybody who has donated. Well, we have been hard at work too. Our actors have been doing improvs to start getting into character and start forming relationships between these characters. We've been hard at work behind the scenes, making sure that we have our locations scheduled and all the permits applied for. We've been making new weapons, all sorts of things. Today I want to talk about why we're shooting this film in a modern setting, which has been a surprise to many of our supporters and some of our actors as well. So what we're doing is we're taking this ancient story and replacing it in modern clothing, modern settings, kind of like a lot of people do with Shakespeare shows, where they keep the old language but they update it to a different time period. Part of the reason we're doing this is practical. To do historical, you really need to do historical well, and that takes just a much bigger operation than we have. More importantly, though, it makes an audience much more easily able to connect with the characters and understand really what was going on for them and what it would be like in their own context. At the same time, using an ancient story and keeping all of the old Roman names allows us to talk about what's happening now without pointing the finger at any one country. Because the truth is, this is happening now. The pandemic has been hard on everybody. This is something right now that all of us around the globe share. But imagine how much harder it would be if you were being denied the aid that your neighbors were getting because you were a Christian. That's what's happening to a lot of our brothers and sisters around the world. Now, a lot of times people hear stories like this, whether ancient or modern, and start thinking, well, what would I do in that situation? What would I do if persecution was happening? Still Small tries to be really careful with those types of questions because while they can be helpful to think through, they can also easily be unhealthy to think through because human nature is kind of to approach it like it's a quiz, like God is just waiting to tell you that you're not hardcore enough. Well, we don't believe that that's how God treats you, and we don't believe that that's really the purpose of questions like that. So one of the things that we try to do here is to ask better questions. Ask questions that will actually help us draw closer to God and grow into the people that we want to be. So this week, the question that I want to challenge you to ask is not, what would I do if this was happening? But what will I do? Because it is happening now. Will I pray with all my heart for the people who are experiencing this? Will I donate so that their children don't go hungry when they go to jail? Will I advocate for them so that more people are praying and giving and caring about them and letting them know that they care? We don't need to ask, what would I do if this was happening? It is happening. And it's happening to people that you would absolutely love if you knew them. So what are we going to do? Will you pray for them? Will you donate to organizations that work on direct persecution relief? Will you help us tell their story?